Cancer. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole, and this is going to be a general reading for you for April 2026. And I'm so happy that you're here with me. If you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you. And if you're coming back for another reading, I want to thank you. And hopefully you'll subscribe. I know a lot of you out there watch my videos but don't necessarily subscribe. It just helps my videos get out to other people that are on their own healing journey, right? So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been on my own intensive healing journey. If you want my shadow work journey for 9 years this April, actually, at the end of this month. So I've been healing my complex trauma from sexual abuse and trafficking in my own family. And so as I work through and continue to work with my trauma coach, there have been gifts that have come out for me. And one of the gifts, well, the first thing I was asked to do in 2020 when I had a channeling done was to get a website. And this is in the middle of COVID, and I'm being asked to do a website, and I was in absolutely no shape to do it at all. I was doing a lot of grieving. And but I did get my website up, and you know, in hindsight's always 2020, and so I realized that at the time I needed to get it up. And then as I went through these years, just these past few years, I've been adding to my website, so it's been growing as I'm growing. So you can check out it. It's carolecares.com, and on that website you'll also find a page for my Yellow Cardinal Tarot and the personal readings I offer. And I'm a shamanic healer now, so I'm trained with the Foundation for Shamanic Studies, and I continue to be trained with them and take their courses. So if you're interested in healing, I offer a free 15-minute consultation for you that you can actually, it's a Zoom call, and we just see if we're a fit for each other for the healing. And so you can access that free call to sign up for it or register for it, whatever. You can access that on my website, and also below in the comment section, and it's in my description box as well. But today we're here for your reading, and I do want to apologize because you know, this is a really incredible month energetically, and I think we're being asked here at being supported so much by the energetic forces around us. We have the fire horse energy from you know, from this year 2026, and then we have on April 2nd we had a full moon in Libra. And then on the 17th is the big one where we're going to have these 9 orbiting bodies in Aries. And so Aries is that sign that says I am. And it puts yourself out there. It's like an ignition key. It's a start. It's a rebirth. It's like, this is who I am. And it's you taking that next step for yourself, which is so incredible. Sometimes it you know, involves taking a risk, and it could be a move like I'm doing, a physical move. It could be something to do with your career. It could be a relationship that you're involved in. It could be something spiritual. You know, you're being asked to move spiritually into a new direction. And so this month's reading is called What's Your Next Step? And so we're going to look at what it is. And I'm going to start off by, first of all, before I pull a card, I'm going to tell you that I'm using the Curious Travels deck, and I'll be clarifying that with the Radiant Rider-Waite. So let's ask the tarot right away. What's your next step, Cancer? One card for that. That came out quickly. You have the Judgment card for that. Looking for some clarity on something maybe, right? Trying to bring something to balance in your life. And now, you know, oftentimes when we're aware of what our next step is, and even that is a challenge sometimes to get to, but sometimes it could be a real intuitive decision because you've been sitting on it for a long time and it's been nudging you quietly, right? It's not a impulsive action, but it's something that's been nudging at you, and you're quite aware that you know what your next step is. But what happens is, when it's something, usually something creative, something for yourself, what happens is you get blocked. So number 2, we're going to look at what's blocking you from moving forward now. You know, we can finally have this plan, we're thinking of doing it, and then we feel blocked. So what's blocked? What's preventing Cancer from moving forward. What's blocking them? Did that one spin around? No, it didn't. So we'll keep going here. One card for Cancer. And what's blocking Cancer from moving forward? There we go. Well, you have the Six of Swords. I'm going to put it sideways. It did come out a bit sideways, so we'll see what that means. What do I need to heal? Now, in this category number 3, in this section, this is going to be your shadow, right? We're going to be doing some shadow work here, because when something comes up, when you're being blocked from doing something, it's always because there's some healing that needs to take place. And that means there could be a memory here. There could be big emotions that are coming up. But this is going to explain from, it's going to be something in your childhood or your adolescence that needs to heal for you to take this step. And I know it's frustrating, but that's sort of how it works. So you have the Knight of Swords with the Star card. And those are the 2 cards that came out for you for what needs to heal. And then finally, we're going to look for some advice from the tarot. Now, remember that this is a process. And so the healing journey takes time. You need to take things in steps, right? It's not something that's going to happen all at once. And so we're going to get some advice from the tarot, and it's going to tell us, you know, okay, this is what you can start to focus on, right? Because sometimes I give you the big picture here, but you struggle with, okay, now how do I do this, or what do I do? And then I'll leave you with some videos that I've done on my other YouTube channel called Carole Cares, and those videos will help you with what is the tarot, what advice the tarot is giving you. So let's have some advice for Cancer. Where do they go? What do they do to start healing this? So you have these 2 cards right here. You have the King of Pentacles in reverse, and then you have the 2 of Cups. I'm going to say, yeah, that could have come either or. But yeah, I'm going to put both of these right here. I'm going to switch that around. Okay, let's ask for some clarifiers for the Judgment card. A couple cards for Judgment. Okay, just warming up my deck here for you. A couple cards for Judgment. There's one, and another one would be great. Okay. Here we go. We have the 8 of Cups and the Hermit underneath your Judgment. 6 of Swords, which is what's blocking you from moving forward. Couple cards. There's one, and that one flipped. Okay, you have the Knight of Cups and the 2 of Wands. That's the second. Let me see now. You have 1, 2, 2 Knights that's come out. 2 Knights that have come out. That's important. What do I need to heal? What does Cancer need to heal here? Which really is what's driving this block that you have. Because when we're blocked, it's like the universe saying, all right, you need to heal this. You need to look at this. Before you can move on. Before you can take this step. Okay, you have the 5 of Wands and the King of Pentacles. And that is my second king showing up on the table. Court cards are very important. I pay a lot of attention to those. 2 of Cups and the King of Pentacles. I'm going to ask for one more card, unless there's more needed. Let's see. Another clarifier. There we go. Okay, so you have the Death card. Yeah, Death card's an interesting one. I might pull another card. I'm going to leave that right now, but I might have to pull another card for that one. All right, Cancer. Let's begin with what's your next step? Well, the Judgment card comes here. And yeah, I don't see the Judgment card come out, right? Not that often. But it's very interesting because it's this picture of, it looks like ghosts that have come out of these coffins that are walking around, and they don't look like they're have any focus, any particular focus. But what's really important here is this eye. And I like to call it the third eye here, which is this eye of wisdom right here, of knowing, right? And so there's something here that you need to know. This card is very much something, to me, I call it like an awakening card. I've actually seen it called awakening in some decks I've used, where you're being asked to really wake up to something, to become aware. And so that is your next step, to become aware of something, to become aware of what's going on, right? What's happening around you. Because I think it's really important that you take this time before you make this next step. And I think you know what it is, but it becomes really important at a certain time where, okay, maybe I need to really sit. Maybe I need to really sit with this. And that's how you become aware, because you have the Eight of Cups right underneath it. And the Eight of Cups is this individual that's walking away from what looks like these cups, which are our emotions. But he's not walking away from his emotions. He's walking away to feel his emotions. This is my card that kind of says, you know, not a dark night of the soul card, but just a card where you're going to go away and take some time out for yourself, and you're really, really, really going to get in touch with your emotions, because that's going to bring awareness to this. And then to support this, you have the Hermit card that comes out after this. And the Hermit card is that card of inner introspection, of going inside and finding out, how do I really feel about this? What's really going on here? And so there's really a need for you right now to go inwards and to really feel and really get in touch with what is happening and becoming aware of your situation right now. Oftentimes we can get caught up in denial. Oftentimes we get caught up in our addictions. I do see that, you know, there is something that has to go. The Death card at the end says there's something that has to go. And so this is a general reading here, but there's something or someone that needs to be let go here, because that's the last suggestion, the last comment or advice from the tarot that's given here. And so I think that's why it's very important for you to get quiet and get still and figure out what's going on, what's really happening here around me. And so we're going to look at what's blocking you from moving forward. So what's blocking you now from, what's preventing you from getting this awareness, from knowing what's going on, right? From waking up to the situation. Well, I think there's a real need for you to, this is sideways here, and so it's questionable, I'm going to say. But in an upright position, this card talks about this, it looks like it could be a parent, a parental figure with a child that's going into safer place, safer waters. This card for me is my safety card in the deck. And when it shows up, I always say, Cancer, are you in a safe place? It's questionable. And I'm wondering if you might think that you are safe. We can often be in our relationship. It doesn't have to be intimate. It could be any type of relationship where we have convinced ourselves that this is safety, that you're being protected, when in reality, you're not. And that's why I think there's a need for you to get awareness around, are you safe? Because if we're not in a safe place, we can't move forward. If we're not in a safe place, we're not able to make that decision to move forward. So safety becomes primary here. And so what are the clarifiers about this safety? Well, there's a part of you that wants freedom. And in particular, this knight is what I call a freedom fighter. He's fighting for your freedom. And so maybe you can feel it inside of you that there's this part of you that wants the freedom. You can feel it. You're trying to get free underneath all of this. And he's carrying the cup, and it's a very powerful knight because he has the cup of love in his hand. But it's when you have the Knight of Cups, it represents for me these authentic relationships. It represents authentic love, right? And so I think this is why there's a need for you to understand what's going on here, because there's a part of you that wants to go towards real love, real authenticity. All of us want that, and that is the part of us. It's a strong teenager part that wants to be free and wants to be free to love, wants to be free to have authentic relationships. And right underneath it was this Two of Wands here. And the Two of Wands it's right at the beginning of the Wands suit. And the Wands talk about sort of, taking your life towards your purpose, going in the direction you're meant to go. But it's just the number 2, so it's like this nudge. And so I think there's a real nudge here. Maybe it's been nagging at you, right? Like saying, Cancer. There's like a nudge to go, a nudge to be free. And oftentimes this night, when it comes out, can really give us that feeling of that, we don't want to be in a situation where we're feeling oppressed or we're feeling controlled, right? So we can be in a situation where we are controlled and think that we're being protected from someone that's actually controlling us. That is an example. This is a general reading. So, you can look at it the way that you think it, don't try to make this reading fit, but it's very important that you bring awareness to your own situation and what's going on. And so what do I need? What do you need to heal, right? What's going on here? Where you feeling like this need to go? And there's a call for safety here. It's questionable. And so what do you need to heal? Well, you start off with the Star card. And the Star card talks about healing. There's something here that you need healing from, that's sitting right now in your shadow, that's sitting in the unconscious, which means something happened to you when you were younger that it didn't get healed, because it's sitting here and it has something to do with this knight behind it. And so I'm going to say that when you were younger, I think that you had this need or want to be free, right? Because I told you that the knights are freedom fighters, and they will fight for your freedom. And if there's one knight, excuse me, I'm going to take this water here. If there's one knight that's going to try to fight for your freedom, it's going to be that knight that's carrying this single sword. And this is the sword of your authenticity and your truth. It's the one that's going to take it and cut through all the bullshit, right? It's tired of people controlling them. It's tired of feeling oppressed. It wants to be themselves. Think of a teenager, because I said this is a teenage part. Think of a teenager that wants nothing more than be free and to do what the hell they want to do. And that was you when you were younger, right? But I think there's some real healing that's needed around that, because I'm going to say you came from a controlling environment where you weren't allowed to be yourself. And I know that, and the Five of Wands here is a clarifier. The Five of Wands talks about these individuals that are fighting, looks like they're fighting with their wands. And actually what they're doing, I call this sometimes it could be like a battle of the ego where they're saying, you know, my wand's bigger than yours. Look at me, I'm better than you. And so there's a real battle here of they're comparing each other. I often call this also the inner critic card, where, you know, you feel you're the type that will compare yourself to other people and think that, well, they have it better than you, or they're smarter than you, and I think this is what came out here, was because you were so controlled, and maybe you were controlled in ways where you were told that, you know, you weren't good enough, or you weren't strong enough, or you weren't smart enough. And so there's a big part of you that feels that, still feels that. There's maybe a lot of shame there around not feeling good enough about yourself, or, you know, strong enough about yourself that you can do what you're being asked to do here. And look at this. And then you get the King of Pentacles that's right behind. It's our first king that's coming out, right? It's right behind this Five of Wands. And so what is the king? Because it's very important in my deck. Well, the king is a masculine side of us. We all have a feminine side, and then we have a masculine side. The masculine side is our mind. It's our ego self. It's these things that you'll repeat to yourself, and our ego self will do that. Our ego self will continue to repeat those things that we were told when we were younger. Oh no, you're not strong enough. Oh no, you're not smart enough. You're not good enough. And so that'll happen on repeat. And the reason it does that is because when we're younger, our ego self is a real protector part. And so when we're young and we're being criticized or we're being controlled, well, our ego self will come in as a part that's going to protect us. And so it takes us out of our body, where we have all the emotions, where we feel all these big emotions. But when we're younger, we can't feel this. And so it'll take us up in our head. And that's what's called dissociation. And so when you were younger, because you were told all these things, and because you were told things that didn't make you feel good about yourself, you very much were taken up in your head, and you were spinning. But there was you need a lot of healing around this. You need a lot of healing around not feeling good enough and not feeling worthy enough. And that is related to you not being in a safe place right now, and you being asked to look at, do you see what's really going on here, Cancer? Right? You are a sign that needs to feel. You are a sign that needs to get back into your body and feel what's really going on. And you're going to do that when you carve some time out for yourself and you go inwards. That's what this is asking you to do at the beginning. That's your next step, right? Before you can, because when we take time to do that, we will get clarity and we'll know what to do after that, right? There are also some big emotions here that you need to feel from childhood, when you were controlled, and when you were told things about yourself that are just not true. And so what's the advice from the tarot? I mean, there's some heavy stuff here. And so what does the tarot say that you can start to heal? And so the tarot wants you to look at, well, the Two of Cups is here as your first card here. But I'm going to, I did switch these two around. So we know what the King is. So we know that the King is the masculine side of us. And we know that the King is this ego self. But this time this King has a pentacle in their hand. And the pentacle is all about the body. It's all about grounding yourself, getting back into your body and grounding yourself. And that's really what you're being asked at the beginning to do, to have this real intimate relationship with yourself. And the universe wants you to have begin this intimate relationship with yourself with this Two of Cups. The two, again, is just a beginning of the cups, and the cups is all about emotion. And the Two of Cups talks about these, these snakes that are intertwined like they're one, right? And it's not really it's not, I love how they used a snake as this. It's not the snake, but it's the snake and its shadow, the snake, and it's, you know, the skin that it sheds. And that's what we do, is we shed these layers of our trauma. And so here's this beginning intimate relationship that you are being asked to have with yourself. This king's going to come in, which is your ego self, and say, don't you dare get into your body, because it's petrified of emotions. And so you need to become very much aware of what are these messages you're telling yourself, of why, especially if you're still around at the end of the reading when I told you that you needed to go do this inner work. And if you're hearing all these things, if you if you've clicked off, you're not going to hear what I'm saying right now. But if you are here and you're still listening to this, our ego self does not want to do any of this work right here that you're being asked to do, right? And I think you need to become aware that what this ego self is telling you. And the last card is the Death card, which I already mentioned for you. There will be something that you need to let go of, and there's going to be somebody that you may need to let go of. And this is a general reading, so you probably already know what that is. We can know what it is, but to actually take that next step is the most difficult thing for us. And so this is what the universe is saying, okay, this is what you need to do in order for you to get to this place over here. All right, so I'm going to leave you with videos on how to ground yourself, because this whole reading is about getting back into your body and grounding yourself. And so I think there are some couple of videos that I have that are really good, and I take you into my backyard. I did them, a few years ago, but if I were to make them again now, they're the same way I ground myself all the time. That has not changed. But it's very, very important that you learn how to ground yourself and know what it feels like, Cancer, to be grounded and not an ungrounded. Very, very important to be able to distinguish the two. So I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is a very, very difficult journey. Healing yourself, healing your shadow, but it's the most important journey of your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.